Hello, recorder players! Today we are talking about a very important thing, and that's playing duets. So if you look on the board behind me, even before we start warming up our brains, we've got a little bit of just kind of understanding the page that we need to do. If you look at the back page of your packet there, it should say This Old Man, and it's a duet. That means that there's two things that are happening at the same time. One person's playing and another person's playing, or several people, doesn't matter, right? We have part one and part two. You might remember that part one is always on top and part two is the next line down. However, is it really the next line? It's the next staff down, isn't it? But it's connected on this left-hand side here, all the way down. This bar line that goes down the side here, like this, tells us that these things are happening at the same time. So if we look at our music, we see, okay, part one plays first. Part one is going to play, well, part two is resting, right? So we'll hear A sharp, A, but only from part one people. What happens next? Well, part one people are resting while part two people are playing. So it kind of takes turns, right? And that's pretty obvious at the very beginning. But there's a couple of places, well, a lot of places in this song where both part one and part two are playing. So be wary. All right, let's warm up our instruments here. Now, we have been working on our F sharp. Please make sure that it's your left hand on top. So 1, 2, 3, blank hole, right? And then I'm using my middle finger and my pointer finger, middle finger and ring finger. I am definitely going to play nothing with my pointer finger. Some kids have this problem where they play F sharp like this. But then if you have to go F sharp to D, it's really hard, right? Whereas this is really easy. I could do that all day. Not even break a sweat, right? So listen first, sing second, play third. Here we go. Listen one more time. Now let's sing it and finger it together. 1, 2, ready, here we go. Sharp, D, sharp, A. Now let's play it and here we go. That's it. Let's do 2 more. Here we go. Listen first. One more time. Let's sing it and finger together. 1, 2, ready, here we go. B, A, G, sharp. Let's play it together and here we go. Oh, there was a wiggle at the end, sorry. Here we go, last one. Let's sing it and finger it, starting on a D, ready, here we go. D, E, sharp, E, D. One more time, sing and finger, here we go. D, E, sharp, E, D, and now let's play it, and here we go. Okay, friends, let's look at This Old Man on the back of your paper there. All right, the very first thing we're going to do is you're going to play part one, and I'm going to play part two later in a little bit. But let's look at part one first. So your part first starts out A sharp, A. That's really easy, right? Look at the third measure, right? So you play first, rest, 2, 3, 4. Wait, look at those notes. I believe we just played them as we were warming up, didn't we? B, A, G, sharp. Oh my goodness. So could you play measure 1, 2, and 3? I think you can. Let's try it together. 1, 2, ready, measure 1. Rest, rest, 2, measure 3, here it comes. There we go. Now, friends, looking at measure 4, the last measure on that line, it's just walking back up the scale, right? E sharp, G sharp, G. Let's sing that and finger it one more time. Measure 4 on part 1. E, ready, here we go. E sharp, G sharp, G. Now let's play it, just measure 4. 1, 2, please play it. Here we go. Okay, let's play the whole first line, part 1. Watch out for the rests. 1, 2, ready, here we go. Rest, 2, 3, here's measure 3. Obviously, we would keep going, but before we do, let's actually try this. You play part 1, I'm going to play part 2. You will notice that this old man, then I have notes, right, in measure 2. You don't have notes, I have notes. Ta, 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 right? So instead of having 1, 2, 3, rest, 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to hear notes, and that's exactly right. Okay, here we go. You're going to go first, and I will count and wait for you, and then I'll come in a measure 2. Here we go. You first. 1, 2, ready, please play. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you notice anything? What I hope you noticed is that in measure 3, you had different notes from what I had. We had harmony happening, right? And it should have sounded really nice. Now that you know to expect it, let's do that one more time. We'll play all the way through line 1, you on part 1 and me on part 2. 1, oh, sorry, you're going first, right? 1, 2, you first. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Both of us, here we go. Yeah, now we should have been back together in measure 4, playing both together, the same notes at the same time, in unison. Let's look at the second line. Now remember, in the second line, the same thing is true. So part 1 is on the top, part 2 is on the bottom. It's different notes, obviously, but it's the same system. So if I look at the second line, it's got 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. Okay, now just like part 1, or just like line 1, part 1 goes first, right? Knick, knack, you first. Here we go. But that's just A, D, so you can play that for sure. But you play, then I play. So let's practice that. A, D, patty, whack. Right, here we go. Okay, you first. 1, 2, just measure 1. Here we go. Knick, knack. Let's try it one more time. Just the first measure on the second line. You're on part 1, I'm on part 2. It's actually pretty easy to play, but it's not that easy to find, right? Line 2, you're on part 1, I'm on part 2. Here we go. 1, 2, you first. Here we go. Did you get it? I hope so. Let's look at the second measure. Now we both have give a dog a bone. Whoo! So the good news is that if you get a little bit lost, we should be back together right there. Let's practice that. It's just a scale. D, E sharp, G, A. Let's sing it and finger it first. Measure 2. Ready? Here we go. D, E sharp, G, A. Now let's play it, and here we go. Let's do it one more time because that's a little fast. 1, 2, ready? Big breath. Okay, friends, now let's play measure 1 and measure 2 on line 2, right? So you've got knick, knack, patty, whack. That's how it works. And then we're together and give a dog a bone. You're first. 1, 2, you first. Here we go. Oh, friends, we're almost home. Well, the old man is rolling home, I guess. So the last part says, this old man came rolling home only. This time you have the harmony and I have the melody. So your part goes, this old man came rolling home. And I've got the melody this time. So friends, let's sing and finger just the last two measures on the second line, but on part one. So your part, okay? If I'm looking at it, it should be line 2. Oops, maybe if I get closer you can see. Line 2, part 1, brink, right there. That's what I'm looking for, okay? Let's try it. So we're gonna play sing and finger your part first on measure 3 and 4 of line 2. Here we go. A, E, sing and finger. Ready? Here we go. A, E, E, G, A, G, sharp. Let's do that one more time. 1, 2, last two measures. Here we go. A, E, E, G, A, G, sharp. Now let's play it. 1, 2, last two measures. Here we go. Now this time, we're going to play the same two measures, only I'm going to play my part. Remember, you've got the harmony, I've got the melody, so we should hear two different notes at the end, okay? Same last two measures. 1, 2, ready, here we go. Did you hear the harmony? I hope you did because it sounds kind of nice actually. Friends, so let's play all of line 2. You on part 1 and me on part 2. Here we go. You're going first. 1, 2, line 2, you first. Oh, friends, I forgot the rest because I wasn't looking at my music. Shame on me. Let's play all the way through this time. If you need to pause the video to practice first, that's awesome. Go for it. But I'm going to keep going. I'm going to play part 2. You play part 1. Remember, you're going first and then I'm going second, all the way from the beginning. Some kids find it really helpful to put a little mark to remind themselves that they're playing part 1 on the second line. If you want to do that, go for it. All right, so you first, me second. Let's try it. 1, 2, ready, here we go. Okay, friends, if you need any help, please send me a message. I would be more than happy to help, but I hope all is well and that you have a wonderful St. Patrick's Day.